Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Hey viewers, today we have Ruchi Jadhav with us. She is an engineer from Mumbai University and recently completed her MBA from NMIMS University. So today she will be sharing her scoop with all of us. So hi Ruchi, how are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. So how is lockdown treating you?
So initially, I was a little bored because of the lockdown, but later I realized that since I had done engineering for continuous 4 years, and then directly from engineering I jumped into MBA, so I didn't have a real break in my life, and hence this lockdown is treating me as a good vacation to spend time with my family and also explore my few new hobbies and some interests.
Awesome. Great. So can you brief the viewers about your background?
Okay, sure. Hello, my name is Ruchi Jadhav. I am born and brought up in Mumbai. I did my electronics engineering from the University of Mumbai, and I was a engineering pass out 2018 batch, so it is very recent. And straight after my engineering, I joined MBA at NMIMS Mumbai, and I did my MBA in the field of marketing.
Oh, great. So while pursuing engineering in your final semester, in your final year, obviously you appear for CAT and other entrances, and obviously NMAT also. So how were you able to juggle up with both the things? How were you able to manage the things? What were the challenges? And how did you motivated yourself to keep going and keep preparing for engineering as well as for MBA entrances?
So it was around 2016 in the mid of my third year when I had decided to pursue MBA. And actually, there were two options for as an engineer. You have like MTech or else MBA. First thing, I was very clear that I wanted to pursue higher studies and not go for job. So after selecting the higher studies option, there were like MBA and MTech, but I never wanted to go too deep into technical domain, and hence I decided that MBA was the right field for me because it would give me a broader perspective rather than just studying or like just qualifying in one particular field, and then I didn't wanted to make my career limited to a particular field. And that was the time when I decided to do MBA. And I was a topper in my engineering college since the semester one. In all the 8 semesters I was the topper. So actually the studies of engineering was not a challenge for me, but to manage both engineering and MBA together. So because I had that goal in mind that I anyhow wanted to do to top in all my engineering semesters, and I had all the CAT, NMAT, SNAP, all these exams were lined up during my sixth semester of engineering. So I at that point of time, my MBA coaches, they told me that now it is time to focus on your MBA prep than your engineering. So just keep it aside for a little while and first focus on the MBA portion, so that once because MBA would be my future if I wanted to pursue in that particular year itself, in the first year of preparation as well. So I started preparing for MBA rigorously, and side by side, yes, I did not neglect my engineering studies. I did that also, and it was a very good thing that I could crack NMAT with 240 score, as well as in that particular semester I scored 9.93 pointer as well. And like as usual, I was a topper. So I don't know by God's grace or what, but I could manage both the things. I think practice and hard work that helped me.
Oh, awesome. So maintaining both the things and topping both the things is really
Yes.
great. So you scored 240 in NMAT, which is actually huge. I guess the cutoff was somewhere around 208 and 210 or 210
Yes.
at that point of time, and you scored 240, which is more above than the normal cutoff. Uh, so what was your preparation strategy? So basically, if you can take the viewers about the journey of your preparation, what were the challenges? What were the subjects which you found challenging, and how did you maintain a balance in all the three sections? And how were you able to get such a huge score?
Okay. So, first of all, this is a general myth that I believe that engineers are very good at quants and they need to focus more on verbal. But it was different in my case because even though I was an engineer and maths was an integral part of my life, I hated maths. Like, I don't know why, but I don't like maths at all. I'm so sorry because you were my maths teacher. I think that because of you, I developed an interest because you thought so many give so many tips and tricks to solve those questions easily and so quickly. So, but for me, it was quants that was my weakness, and hence initially I had decided to focus more on quants and verbal as well. Verbal was a part wherein uh, I faced difficulty in parajumbles and other questions, but never reading comprehension. I used to be very quick with it because I had an hobby of reading books and novels since the very beginning, so that was not a issue. But yeah, still, like, I started reading more and more books, more novels, editorials, and more about more newspapers and all. That helped me to increase my speed and helped me in skimming and skipping whatever portion was not to be not so important. And reasoning was my strongest part, so I loved doing reasoning. And Initially, so as I said, initially I thought that cons, since it was my weakness, I focused more on cons, and I used to daily after my lectures, I used to go home and I used to solve those questions repeatedly with and keep in mind all the formulas and all the tips and tricks, all the easy calculation tricks in mind, so that it would help me in the future because there is no calculator. And specifically for NMAT, since NMAT is I believe that NMAT is more of a time based exam, so the questions are comparatively easier than that in CAT, but the number of questions is more. So here they actually test your time, how well you can manage and how well you can crack those 3 marks well within your time. So for that, I actually made a whole after all my sums and all my topics of quants were done, I made a chart and put it up on my wall. And this was a chart of formulas that were including of quant 1 and quant 2, which was geometry and algebra both. And daily after waking up, I used to look at that chart. So once I used to go through that chart, and whenever I used to come in and go outside my bedroom, I used to always somehow take a glance at that chart, which helped me a lot during the NMAT exam. It is very useful, I feel, remembering the formulas, because the cons is easier. You just need to actually have that formula in your mind, and you can crack the question. I That is what is my take on cons in NMAT. And for reasoning, so it was my strong area, it was my strength, but since an exam was approaching, so I felt that not only weakness but focusing on your strength is equally important, because that is where it will help you to fetch those 3 marks, which is the actual difference from 210 to 220. So I started practicing more and more reasoning questions, solving the reasoning paras, which uh, so those were my favorite questions. So I started solving those more and more, and I started giving more mock tests. So after every mock test, I used to analyze each and every question. I used to see what is wrong, whether there is a consistency in my wrongs in a particular topic that is going wrong, or in a particular topic that I don't answer the questions. So I used to actually make a note of it and then go to the faculty and ask whether, how to solve this question and why am I not able to do it. And also, if my particular question is right, I still used to check the answer or the solution to it. If there is a better way or a shorter method to solve that question, to save my time. So this is how I prepared for my entrance exam, and I was able to crack it.
Okay, awesome. So you got 240 score. I guess it should be
So
in
it was
99
my,
percentile range. Okay.
yes, 99 percentile.
Yeah, you were saying something.
Yes, so it was my in my second attempt, because in NMAT there, you know that there can be multiple attempts, and there was some problem or some issue from my side in the first attempt, so it was a very technical issue, and because of that I was very nervous and could not give my best. So I decided to do a second attempt, and that was where I cracked it.
Great. So had you filled up for your third
No.
chance?
No,
No.
so
Okay, fair enough.
after my second attempt, I knew that there is no reason to again give this exam. So I was done with my second attempt.
Okay, great. You appeared for NMAT, got a good score. You got a call from NM Mumbai for their MBA program, and you went for your GDPAB. So basically, case discussion and PAB. So how was your
Yes.
experience? Do you remember any of the questions that were asked to you?
Yes. So I remember particularly my interview because I felt that it was a very different one than that of others when I listened to my peers and their interviews. But first, I would like to talk about the CD because that is the first part before the PI. So NM's CD is a very simple case, but the point over there is that it is a short case, but actually all the students or all the participants will just go for the points that are mentioned in the case, and that is where it creates a fish market, and you need to have your own point of view over there, and actually you need to give your points. So for that I believe that what you should do is you should read current affairs and the general topics that are going now and relate that somehow to the case so that you have a different point to present. Then that is what I did, because everyone was just shout, and being an introvert, I could not actually start the GD. That was never my forte. I used to be the one who used to join when during the mock GDs as well. I was never able to start a GD, and I used to always enter the GD from so while you are entering GD, already 2 3 people have said those points which you have in mind. So at that point of time, it's very good if you have the knowledge of current affairs and you can relevant and if it is relevant, try to link it to the case so that the judges also know that you are there. Even if you give 1 point, but that point is very relevant, then they will make a note of it. And irrespective of whether you score good in the CD or not, everyone is sent for the PI. So for the PI, actually there were 3 judges, and the PIs of NM can be of different types. But it can be either hygiene questions or stress interview, or like everyone had a different experience. But mine was more based on hygiene questions, and they asked me about my background, my profile, then why from engineering to MBA, why not MTech or MS, and why not WorkX, why straight away you want to join. These were the basic questions that they asked, and they also asked me if I know about NM, any cells or committees, and any faculty with who is my dream faculty, who under whom I would like to study. Because I said that I wanted to do marketing, and I was very clear since the beginning. So they asked me who are the faculty in marketing, and with whom you actually want to study and all. And the main thing is that they will ask you from your CV. So you should be very thorough with your CV. No matter what, you should know each and every line and word. So just not just to increase the length of the CV, you please don't write anything just to increase the length of your CV. Instead, write all the relevant points that you have actually done in life or you have interest in that, because they'll ask you each and every line from anywhere. Because they even asked me about my hobbies, and I had never expected this question because it is the last point in your CV, and they genuinely asked me about it. And that is where it made a difference, I feel, because it showed that I'm a honest person. Because in my hobby I had mentioned that I'm a movie enthusiast, and they asked me which kind of movies. Mentioned old English classics, so they were like, your generation doesn't watch these kind of movies, so give us some 5 examples of those movies, and also mention the actors and the director of those movies. So this was a very trick question, because if I would be lying at that point of time and I had just mentioned that in my CV, so they would have got it then and there. But frankly, I knew all the answers, and they even told me to sing a song from one of the particular movie. And it was an old English classic. But yeah, they enjoyed that, and that was the point that I knew. All the judges were smiling, and I knew that I had done it. I had convinced them to onboard me. So my PI, this was a take on my CD and PI.
Awesome, awesome. So you must have enjoyed your own interview.
Yes.
Great, great. So I actually like such kind of interviews wherein you are not grilled based on the subjects that you are doing in your engineering, but something which interests you. Awesome. Okay, so you done with your GDPI, you got a final convert, you started your journey at NMIMS. So, can you give us certain insights about the college? I mean, which only a student would be knowing about?
Yes, sure. So this is a common known fact that it's a luxurious building. The infrastructure is so good. Like as soon as you enter the college, you'll feel like you are in a five-star hotel, and it is usually known as the Kachwali building. But yeah, it's not just the building, but also the facilities that they provide. Those are world class. I felt that it if the student actually utilizes those facilities, then he can actually excel. Like, not most of the students actually utilize the whole infrastructure whatever is provided, but I believe that if that is used, then it would be good for the students. So one of the thing is the library, and the library is full of so many books and also the online resources. So there are a lot of research papers by the faculties as well as from the industry that are there in the online library that is there. So that is a good thing. Plus, for finance students, there is this Bloomberg lab, and also Bloomberg classes are held. So if you are a non-finance student like an engineer like me, but has an interest in finance, so this would be a good opportunity for you to learn. And not only this, but one good thing about NM was that before joining college, like somewhere around 30 to 50 days before college starts, they send you some online courses, which is the Harvard Business Modules. So these modules help in understanding the basics of MBA. Like in before you join college, you actually get an idea what kind of subjects you are going to learn, and just a basic touch up on each and every subject like finance, marketing, statistics. All these subjects, you at least understand what is in those subjects. So that was a good thing that I thought about NM. And also the WeCare. So during January, we have a WeCare internship, and this internship is a social internship. So during this period of time, we are actually sent to various NGOs, and there we have to work for the NGO. So it is a non-paid internship, but it is a one of a lifetime experience. If you have not worked with an NGO, this is a very good opportunity, because you actually get to know a lot what is going on in the society, and outside the luxurious building you actually get to know the world. So it was a very good experience for me. I was sent to various villages and all, and I enjoyed the experience with the children and how they respect you. They feel that you are from another world. So it is a very different experience. I like that a lot. And the last thing is that since NM has a huge crowd, so they onboard like around 600 to 700 students, and hence your juniors and your seniors. So it's a huge networking cycle that is created of so many students, and that is a good opportunity for you to connect, and it would help you in the future definitely. And while in college also they help you a lot, like your seniors will help you in the GDs, in mock GDs, mock PIs, in understanding where you are going wrong. Just you need to approach them. So that is a very good thing about NM.
Okay, great. This is really very enlightening. So, done with NMIMS MBA, what changes do you see in yourself after 2 years of MBA?
Yes, so initially I had that, like being an engineer, you have a very robotic mind. You are just solution oriented. Just focus on the solution, and if you find that solution, you are done with it. But after doing an MBA, I felt that I gained a very broader perspective, a business perspective. Like from the point of view of management, I started thinking all across all fields. Like not only the solution matters, but actually the various factors that affect the solution while getting there, like it involves various domains. If there is a business problem, then you need to look at the finances, you need to look around everything that is required. And this was something that MBA taught me. And like before, when I was in engineering, I was very focused on just the solution. And also being a fresher, at the beginning I was very intimidated by the atmosphere that was in the college, because 80% of the students that come are having work ex of minimum 2 years. And I was a fresher who was like straight from my engineering. I came here within, like, my exam finished on 2nd June and NM started at 4th June. So it was just a 1 day break, and straight away I came here. And it was very, I was very nervous at the beginning, because I thought that these people who have workex, they have a very broader perspective, they have an added advantage to them, because they have seen the industry how it performs. And they actually during the class discussions and all, they could actually answer the questions impromptu, so they don't need to actually even learn or go through any references, because they have their life experience. And because of that, I felt that I was not at par with them. But slowly I got into pace, and I started learning through, like, even after lectures, I started reading reference books, and going through various going through discussions with my groups and my friends. And like, even if it's a smallest of thing, I started discussing with my peers. So that helped a lot to get an overall perspective from different minds and different, because everyone comes from a different culture, everyone has a different thinking, a different mindset. So that helped me a lot to understand what could be the various perspectives to a given problem. And yes, then gradually it turned me into what I am today, and I feel that I am really a better version of myself as then I was in engineering, because there I was just the topper, but here I feel that I am an all-rounder now.
Okay, great. And I'm sure this MBA thing is going to help you in next 20, 30 years.
Yes, sure.
Okay, great. Okay, Ruchi, that's all from my side. Last but not least, any pro tip that you want to give to the MBA aspirants?
Yes. So, all I would want to tell you is that practice, and practice, because that is going to help you. Right now, please don't focus on anything else, like which college you'll get or which you won't. Currently, you need to just practice all the three different sections, and don't neglect your strengths. If you think that you should only focus on your weakness, strengths are equally important. So you have to crack all the sections, and hence that will help you. And also I want to tell that like doing hard work would give you results. Like it is said in Bhagavad Gita, कर्म करते रहो, फल की अपेक्षा मत रखो. So just half portion of that, कर्म करते रहो, do your work, do your part of the job, and definitely you'll get into one of the top B schools, whichever you are aspiring to go through.
Okay, thanks. So I hope everyone will get a benefit out of this interview. Every aspirant will get a benefit out of your experience that you have shared. Thank you so much, Ruchi. It was really good to have you on board, and we wish you luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.